Brought to you by My 11 Circle. Win first prize 1 crore. Download the app now.
Hello and welcome to this very special interaction that I have with Sports today. This individual has been in Ireland for over a decade. He has seen the cricketing landscape in Ireland change when he was a youngster, and now he's a veteran. When he started his career, he was a young left-arm pacer, but thankfully for the cricketing world, he evolved into one of the best left-arm spinners that had to come out of Ireland. Today, as he plays, he's now 93 T20 years old. And as he gears up for this all-important series against India, I have with me George Dockrell. Thank you so much, George, for taking time out and interacting with us today in Sports Today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So, George, over 12 years, 93 T20s, you have seen cricket in Ireland evolve from a very mature stage, becoming world beaters. And now you are in such a stage where you regularly qualify for ICC World events. How has the journey been for you?
Yeah, it's been pretty incredible. I suppose my time with the Irish team, not only Irish cricket, but I think cricket itself has changed so much. The game keeps moving, which is always incredibly exciting. And to have been part of that journey with Ireland from, 2010 and from all those World Cups, one day cricket and T20 and Ireland's first tests, adventure as well. It's been incredible to watch it all develop. So it's been very, very exciting. And I feel very lucky to have been part of all.
You're the third most experienced player in the Irish setup currently. But recently, just yesterday, William Porterfield announced his retirement from international cricket. Share your thoughts about Will and how he was such an influence in the Irish team. I mean, you're played entirely almost under William. So how do you recollect your memories with William Porterfield?
Yeah, look, William's probably been one of the greatest servants ever for Irish cricket. To have captained Ireland for as long as he did, successfully as he did as well, was a huge testament to him. A big part of what people may not have seen was his passion, his commitment, his work ethic, and that drive he had towards making Irish cricket better, and not just for himself, but for the greater good, I think. And he was someone who, when I first came into the Irish team, you get to play alongside those guys, train alongside them. And I know I wouldn't be the cricketer I am today without having had those presences alongside me in those early years. So, I can't speak highly enough of William and what he's done for Irish cricket. It's been an incredible journey for him. And look, I'm sure he'll be very successful in whatever comes next.
Now, Will, the series, the two-match series that begins on 26th and 28th against India, unfortunately, in your last encounter that you had with them, the two matches in Malahide 2018, you didn't pick up a wicket, unfortunately. But in this series now, looking at the Indian cricket team, who do you fancy bowling to the most? Who do you think you'll be very excited to bowl to once that batsman comes? You may have seen the team sheet. So who are you fancying your chances against? Any particular Indian batsman that you would love to bowl and get him out for?
I think the beauty of international cricket these days now is how stacked all the lineups are. So I think, looking at the teams you play against, every single batter that comes in is a prize wicket, is someone you want to be getting out. And I think just competing sometimes against the best in the world is in itself such a challenge. So, anytime I get the ball, regardless of who it is we're playing against, it's always a huge opportunity to play your part and try and pick up some wickets. So again, I think, look, any of that team who you come up against, and looking to get some wickets, I'll be pretty happy, I think.
Okay, so this Indian cricket team currently has no Virat Kohli, no Rohit Sharma, no Jasprit Bumrah in the playing 11 for the time being. Are you is Ireland and all the fans disappointed that India is not sending a full-strength squad to play Ireland? What are your sentiments? Because of the packed international calendar, do you think two teams playing separately and simultaneously is the norm going forward?
Yeah, look, it's very interesting, and again, cricket is changing in that sense that we're seeing it a lot more often where teams have to split up those squads and become a lot more specific in terms of which players they want to play which format. Again, looking at this Indian team and that squad that's coming over, they're all world class, all world beaters in the team. So I think when you have the caliber of player coming across, I suppose it's not something we'd think too much about. There's still going to be an incredible challenge coming up against, that attack and bowling to that batting lineup. And so for us, again, it's just relishing that challenge to play against some of the best of the world.
Okay, so there is, okay, if Virat, Rohit, Jasprit are not there, this Indian cricket team, do you think still has the depth to even challenge the best team in the world, according to you?
I think so. Look, and I guess there's been a lot of cricket that these guys have had in terms of this India squad. The IPL is an incredibly high standard of cricket, probably the best league in the world, and therefore having that, as your backyard for growing your players. I think a lot of those cricketers come out of India with such a huge amount of experience that other nations maybe don't have that same level of breeding ground. So you have these guys coming out having had a lot of IPL cricket under their belt, playing against the best in the world, and so I think that allows you to grow that talent pool and play those concurrent squads around the world at the same time. And I don't think there's any drop off in the standard of cricket that you see.
Hardik Pandya is going to captain the Indian team now. So did you see a lot of Hardik's captaincy in the IPL? Did you see his performances? Has the Irish team made note of all the players that are there, and what are your plans that's going to be against them?
Yeah, look, Hardik obviously had a huge amount of success recently, and I know he got a lot of plaudits for how calm he was and how he went about that captaincy. So look, as always with all teams, we'll be doing our analysis on the style of play and the different players we come up against. You have to be aware these days, of what that is, what the game plans look like for each player, and whether that's with the bat or with the ball. And we'll make sure we do our homework. And then, again, the big part is always making sure that you can then execute your own skills for those plans. So look, we'll be very prepared coming into that series and make sure we do our homework.
Okay, so the final question, George, that I want to ask is, Ireland have secured qualification for the ICC World T20 in Australia. But the worrying aspect was that you lost in the final of the qualifiers to the UAE, unfortunately. So what are your plans now? Like, do you focus bilateral series wise, or do you always have one eye on the world T20? Like they say in cricket, you can't think too far ahead, you can't think too far back. So how do you manage to go about it?
Yeah, look, we've been exciting summer of cricket here in Ireland with a number of series against some top teams. So for us, it'll just be trying to, enjoy and learn as much as we can this summer and get ourselves in a good place. And, very cliche, but it always starts game by game and series by series. So look, we've got the squad for this first India series, these 2 games, and we'll be doing our best over the next, week or 10 days to be ready for that match. And for those 2 games, and then we take it from there. So I think it's very much so, that it's a long way away, and probably bigger for us is concentrating on these big games, because look, it's a huge game for us. Last time we had India over, it was 2 sellout crowds and then 2 couple of decent days of cricket. So we're hoping for more of the same, and hopefully we can put together a good show.
Okay, George, thank you so much for taking time out and interacting with us. So for fans here in India, you can watch the India versus Ireland series on Sony 6 in English, and then in Sony 1, 3, and 4 in all the other regional languages. George will definitely have a big impact. I can imagine that, because 2018, unfortunately, was not so good, but 2022, definitely, George, you might have an even greater impact. All the best for the series, all the best wishes for India, and also all the best for the World T20.
Cheers, thanks, and thanks for having me on.
Thank you, George. Thank you so much. Yeah. So the India versus Ireland 2 T20I series begins on 26th and the 28th. For all you English fans, you can watch the game on Sony 6. For all you Hindi fans, you can watch it on Sony 10.3. And for Tamil and Telugu, you can watch it on Sony 10.4. The games begin at 9 p.m. IST, folks. Thank you.
मेरे साथ जुड़िए मनाने के लिए क्रिकेट का सबसे बड़ा त्योहार। मैच से जुड़े आपके हर सवाल का हम देंगे जवाब। जानने के लिए हर अपडेट, लाइव एनालिसिस, स्पेशल इंटरव्यूज, डाउनलोड कीजिए स्पोर्ट्स द कैंप।